on Friday, assassinated on Saturday, high, buried on Sunday, high. Then on Monday, everybody goes back to work, high, like nothing happened, why? It's just an ordinary day. But I could be the president, and you could be the president, and she could be the president. If I was president, if I was the president. Hey, Joe, a man say he wanna build a wall, have Mexico pay for it all. I called up my Mexican friends. They said, Wyclef, we ain't gonna pay for shit. Hey, there's a riot every week, June. And the people on the street, everyone is living on the edge. You could be the next AI. Donald Trump said he ready for the competition. Joe Biden said he's ready for the competition. I was smoking weed with Bernie Sanders. He said they want the competition, yeah. Vote for Joe, yeah. Vote for Joe, yeah.
Joe Biden, Kamala Harris.
Again.
Yo, Wyclef, I always tell this story, right? We've been cool since Flojo, since I had Flojo and the Fugees just started. I remember seeing y'all at all the shows and y'all wasn't blown up yet. And then when them videos came out and y'all just blew up, and I was like, yo, you believe I used to do shows with these guys? Like, cause how much records the first Fuji album sold?
Well, the first album was called Blunted on Reality. It sold copper. The second album did like 30 million. Just was started, you know, still going.
And then your solo album did how many million?
My solo album did 7 million. So if you come at the crib, damn, let me see if I can flip. You know what, we gonna do something crazy. Cause you know what I don't do? I don't be bragging. But I think I might have to have a Khaled moment, man. Let me walk around. Let's see. So, let's see. We here, right? We're just going through. Let's go. Let me see. All right. All right. So you see this one right here?
What's that right there? Tell us, because we see
okay,
it.
That's Hips Don't Lie. That's Shakira, Hips Don't Lie. The biggest of all time. So let's start with that. That's the biggest selling single of all time.
Shakira, Hips Don't Lie.
Okay, yo. Let me see if we can. All right. So that's Wyclef worldwide albums. Just Wyclef alone. 10 million records. Just Wyclef alone. We ain't even get to the Wyclef work. So we gonna go. Okay, when I look on this wall right here, I got Destiny Child. Destiny Child, the first record, you say no, 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 no. When it's
yeah.
So then we go over here. We got Whitney Houston. Hold up, I got Whitney. I got the great Whitney right here. Hold up.
And what was Wyclef? You being out of Jersey, working with the Queen of all queens, and she was from Jersey.
Yo, it was amazing because for me, I got a chance to be with Whitney, Bobby, and people was like, yo, Whitney's going through an emotional time. It's going to be hard to work with her in the studio. And for me, like going in, what was crazy was I didn't only record Whitney. I recorded her daughter and I recorded Bobby. But I never told Clive I recorded Bobby. So that's Bobby Brown on that. My love is your love and your love is my love. So for me, her daughter was real little, right? And she was on the side when I was recording her mom. And her daughter said, "Sing, mommy." And I was like, I turned around and I grabbed the mic and I said, "Do what you just did again." She said, "Sing, mommy." So when Whitney got out of the booth, she didn't even know I recorded her daughter. So the first time she heard it and heard Sing Mommy, she flipped out. So for me, I saw that love and that connection with the family from the gate, you know?
Man, let me tell you something, Wyclef. I know for a fact that you were the main person responsible for getting the record cleared for Khaled for Carlos Santana.
Yeah, shout out to Khaled for...
Yo, Wyclef. Hello?
Man, I'm speechless because when Khaled hit me up, you know Khaled, like we go back to Shatters.
Yeah, you
And
know Khaled for 20-something years.
yeah, Shatters, top Shatters. We literally, me and Khaled used to go dub for dub. So Khaled is the only one that knows like I'm a real soundboy. You know what I mean? I'm what you call like the closet DJ. You know what I mean? So we go like way, way back. And so when I did that record, Maria Maria, when you hear the record, Spanish Harlem, you know, and we was that's an immigrant story. It was after a movie I saw which was called West Side Story. So when I got that call from Khaled, my brother, I was excited because one, you gotta understand, my daughter's 15 years old. You know how a dad feels when her daughter's in school and then that Khaled record come on and she go, that's my daddy's record. You know what I'm saying? So for me, and Carlos Santana is like my godfather, real godfather. So when I gave him a call, he was excited. He was honored. So for me, this is what I wanted to do. Because we talk about like my excitement with the Fugees when you go back, I never really wanted to be a superstar. Because back then, the producers was not the superstars. The superstars was the artists. So if anybody ever asked me, who's the superstar of the Fugees, our superstars of the Fugees is Lauryn Hill. Because if I want to be the young Quincy Jones and I can't create a super group, that would never happen. So when we look in today and I'm watching what Khaled's doing with production and everything, I'm honored. Because for me, this means like it continues and it continues, you know?
Yeah, you know, let's mention this because I mention it to you all the time, but I don't say it out there. I was at Big Pun's funeral, and you know, we was all sad, and you know, Puerto Ricans, they usually don't play no music, they don't celebrate. And Wyclef walks in, Big Beast walked in with you. Shout out to my brother Big Beast. And Wyclef walks in with a guitar and a speaker, and he don't say nothing to nobody. He never even said nothing to me. And you just walked in, you plugged it in, and next thing you know, you started playing the and then next thing you know, the guys came in there, G&B, and they started singing Maria, Maria.
Yeah.
It reminds me of a West Side Story. And I was just like, everybody was in there with just crying so hard.
Yeah.
What is it about you, Wyclef? You driving up to the funeral. What are you thinking, bringing the guitar? How did you come up with that? Because, by the way, it's never been duplicated. It's a moment like that, and I've been to a lot of funerals. I've never been at no shit like that where somebody pulled out the guitar. And what made you even think about that?
Well, I think in history, we got to celebrate great men. And when we read the books and we go back in history, it's bigger than just a funeral. It's like Cuba, it's Puerto Rico, it's Haiti. You know, it's Latin America. Like, so when I walk in there, it's like I'm not representing just us, but representing a man that was your partner, which the same thing that I did for Haiti, that's what y'all did for the Latin community. So for me, when history looks back and we've seen like wars and situations and we say, we see how they honor the soldiers, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, it was for me like another soldier falling. And the way that I can honor him is to show up with my instrument and pay homage.
That was crazy. I'm not sure if your father, rest in peace, passed away before Pun or after Pun. But
Master Fund.
it
Yeah.
was around the same time, and I had showed up to Jersey.
Yeah.
You know, and that was pretty crazy. You know, your father was a pastor, right?
Yeah, my father was a minister. Like, I'm straight up a church boy. So I came from Haiti. I was raised in Brooklyn, Marlboro Project. So I always say my father's first church was in the projects. And at the time, right, it's like early 80s. So Marlboro Projects was ran by the Italians at the time. You know what I mean? So imagine a minister coming from Haiti, like I'm about to start a church in here. You know what I mean? So it always showed me like the real gangster was always my pops. You know what I'm saying to you? So we went from Marlboro Projects to Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn. And you know, the thing is, I'm gonna say something on your show that I never talk about because I don't glorify it, right? So
Yeah, I want to hear it because, you know, we call this a Joker moment. Like a Joker Winfrey, we call this a Joker moment when they hear something they never heard before. Go ahead, Wyclef, let me hear that thing.
okay, well, I think probably what they never heard before is that Wyclef Jean and Haitian Jack, Wyclef Jean, Haitian Jack are real cousins.
Yeah, I know Haitian Jack. I knew Haitian Jack was your cousin, but and that's a whole nother history right there with Haitian Jack. You know, them
No,
guys. Yeah, so y'all real cousins and y'all grew up. He was in the same projects as you, Wyclef, and all that.
well, it's so important that people understand, like in the store when we say Haitian Sicilians, right? The reason why in the store we say Haitian Sicilians is because say you come from Sicily, like the little town that you come from, usually it's your father and then your father's cousin and your cousin's cousins. So at the end of the day, when you come to America, it's the same thing. So even if they come 6 years ahead of you, you know what I mean? When you get there, it's the same system. But my father was like, at the end of the day, we going to New Jersey. You know what I mean? So he literally was like taking the church over and say, we're going to go to New Jersey. We end up in Newark, New Jersey, car theft capital of the world. Once again, one project to the next one. And for me, you know, one time I remember a few years ago, the feds picked me up for something. And when they picked me up for something, they had a big circle. And the circle, they had HS. And then, so they talking to me, and then I go, what the fuck is HS? You know what I'm saying? And then they go, Haitian Sinatra. Like your whole life is nothing but gangsters around you, and you over here singing New York, New York, New York. You know, so for me, I always believe the reason why I rep my flag is because for the youth, it's so important that when we've got so many that's deported, that's been locked up, that are not coming out no more, that they understand that the lifestyle that we want to glorify is not a lifestyle if we want to be the baddest. Because even if we talk about Macazone, I have to tell you, a lot of us felt more like we were political prisoners because we was watching in other communities kids do 30 times more than what we were doing. And we were the ones that was deported. We are the ones that fight for prison reform. So for me, at the end of the day, what I did was wanted to use my art form to just focus as an immigrant and to show kids like you literally could do this the right way. You know what I mean? Like you could go from negative to positive and it's all right, you know?
You know, Wyclef, I bumped into you at the tunnel one time, and you had just sold 30 million records. So listen, guys, nobody in America sells 30 million records right now. Nobody has an album out right now that sold 30 million records. Nobody. I'm talking about not a human being, not Taylor Swift, not Drake. No one has an album right now with 30 million records sold. right now, right? So I go up to you and I say, yo, Wyclef, I got this fat Puerto Rican guy, they call him Punisher. And I think you heard of him on the underground. And I said, Wyclef, I'm doing this album. I need you on this album. And you said, Joe, tell me where, and I'm there. I'll let you take the floor from here.
Well, you know, for me, what's crazy about it is I tell people.
So hold on, Wyclef. Once again, Wyclef, let me explain this again. Wyclef had just sold 13 million records in one album. And I come up to him and I ask him to get on an album of a new, not even Fat Joe. It's a new artist that hasn't even put a record out yet. And you show up to the studio and you do the record with him. What was that like in the studio with Big Pun?
For me, it was crazy because Pun, I was a fan. But what was amazing was, how did you know that I could bar for bar with Pun on Caribbean Connection? Like, how did you know? Because that would be hard for someone to understand. Because when you think of Clef, you're not thinking of bars first. You're thinking of the music guy. He gonna put a guitar and start to, you know, like. So for me, you took me back to my original element, which is battle rapping in the streets. So for me, you took me back to the Clef that used to be nice with the slap box, super nice. And I was like, I gotta find another way. One day I saw two dudes like literally going at each other. And I was like, yo, why are they not shooting each other? He was like, yo, this is called battle rap. So I became a wordsmith so I wouldn't have to fight as much. So for me, in the studio, I felt honored because like when I saw Pun, I see you have to understand, for me as a Caribbean guy, it was just like coming home. You know what I mean? That I've done a lot of sessions in my time. I've been in the studio with Michael Jackson. I've been in the studio with a lot of airs, but the top 5 energy that I felt in my life, one of the 5 is being in the studio with y'all.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And you really went toe-to-toe with Big Pun on the classic album. Lyrically, blow for blow. Mucho trabajo.
Mucho trabajo. Dinero.
Yo, Wyclef, let me ask you something. Years ago, everybody was saying Wyclef going for president of Haiti. Was you seriously going for president of Haiti? And what stopped you if you didn't go for president of Haiti and you didn't win?
Well, definitely thank you for this question. It's probably one of the most important questions in my life. I was serious because Malcolm X was serious. Marcus Garvey was serious. Martin Luther King was serious. Haiti is the first Black republic of 1804. So I don't think that we are created on this planet to sing, dance, eat food, have a good time, and then disappear. So for me, when I look at like Marcus Garvey and what he did, I felt like I'm chosen for a bigger purpose. If I come from this tiny village, like in the statistics, you don't make it out, what am I gonna do? So for me, when the earthquake hit, I ran. And this is why I ran, because I feel like the situation of Haiti, one of the things that we have to understand is how do trade policies work? So we constantly talk about, yo, you know, we want Haiti to come back. Well, how is Haiti going to get back if the farming economy is crippled? How is Haiti going to get back if you say you want to bring education to Haiti, but a kid is 13 years old already? What kind of education are you going to bring him? So I was talking about bringing agribanks for credit. I was talking about building the farmer union and literally starting again from the beginning. You know what I mean? So what took me out of the race is, I'm not going to lie to you, if I gave the order, I probably wouldn't be here, because I would have had millions of kids die. but it's not about me. It was about the people of Haiti. So the way that they took me out of the race was illegal, because at the end of the day, they said I had to live in a country for 5 years, but that's the propaganda they spread to the West. So if I ask the West right now, do anybody know how Haitian law works? Y'all be like, no, but they said you got to be there for 5 years. But we know how the U.S. Constitution works. And let me tell you how the Haitian Constitution works. I had a diplomatic passport. So I felt that the powers that be took me out illegally, but I left the country, came back, and I supported Michel Martelly, who became the president. And then after that, his successor, Jovenel Moise, who's the president now, you know?
Yeah, you know, Haiti, there's a thing, there's a conspiracy that I got about Haiti. Because it was the first country that black people overthrew slavery and became independent, overpowered slavery, not give it to them. I've always felt that the powers that be never want to see Haiti prosper, because Haiti is a symbol of power and a symbol of, that's the first place to stop all slavery. So I always thought they can help Haiti, but they don't want to, because it's too much of a powerful symbol. That's just Fat Joe conspiracy theory.
Well, I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying, 100%, but I could give you a few more things. You know, Haiti's the babysitting capital for cocaine of the world, right? That's a reality, you know what I mean? So if we was just to start with that one thing, we could go somewhere else. When you say that Haiti got its independence, 100%, but then the French turned around and put a tax on us, and that tax is literally, to your point, what cripples an economy, and people don't want to see us move forward. But I want everybody that's on the chat right now to understand something, that the Haitians helped the Dominicans get their independence. So at the end of the day, the Haitians and the Dominicans should be more brothers and sisters. And let me tell you something. Hugo Chavez, the general out of Venezuela who passed away, when we went to see Hugo Chavez, when the Haitians went to see him, he said, look, at the end of the day, any help y'all need with the oil, I am going to help y'all with the oil. Because if it wasn't for Haiti, Venezuela would not have been free. If you come right over to America, the Louisiana Purchase, here the sweetest real estate deal that was ever done. This deal, American historians would tell you that that deal would not have happened if it wasn't for the Haitians. So I just want to show you, to your point, exactly, you know, but it's going to be hard to hold us back now, because through the internet, we can communicate. Like this conversation that's happening here, you know, is the conversation that's going to spread the information.
Yeah, man. Yo, Wyclef, let me tell you something, man. You know, I've been to Haiti, no security, having a great time. I remember I went over there, and the president's son, I forget his name.
Olivier.
Yeah, Olivier.
My nephew.
They had me.
Oh.
Let me tell you something. They had me with the president and the president's son chilling. Yeah. And then I got the phone call from the gangsters from the other side of town. And so I went over there, and they were like, I sat down there. First of all, whoever ran the place at that time, his mother loved Fat Joe. So they wanted me to say hi to his mother. I go in the house, say hi to her, and then it was like, yo, why you over there with the president and them? We the ones who really run the streets out here. Those guys ain't got no juice. I'm like, how the fuck they know I'm with the president and them? Over there, yo, that shit is crazy over there, man. But Haiti showed me so much love, B, and I love Haiti. Do you see it getting better? Do you see something changing to make them, you know, come back stronger?
I think in Haiti, for Haiti to come back stronger, one of the things that have to happen is the developments that are happening in Africa now. A lot of tech is starting to be developed. out of there. The idea of coming up with different ways to move the money around through digital banking. They're talking about creating their own WhatsApp in Africa right now, different things like that. So I think that we have, in order for Haiti to come back forward, we have to focus on the technology. As the world is moving forward with technology, we have to think of different ways in teaching people how to learn. You know what I mean? The physicality of building a place and bringing kids through at the end of the day when everyone's living, 80% is living less than on $1 a day. We have to think of how we change these things.
You know why, Clef? You started out by saying you're a sound clasher. There's one dub that you had that everyone would talk, Buju Banton, whoever you name would talk about this. You had a Michael Jackson dub play.
Yeah.
How did you break down to Michael what the dub plate is? How do you get Michael Jackson to do a Wyclef Jean dub plate?
Well, I think for me, let's go back to my Whitney Houston dub plate. So if you listen to my Whitney Houston, so I just want everybody to know nobody on earth have the Queen of Pop and the King of Pop. So if any sound boy is listening to this right now, just you already know you planted your coffin. So let me continue. So when I was explaining to Whitney what I needed for a dub plate, Whitney was like, and at the time, Dennis Brown just passed away. I was like, yo, could you say rest in peace to Dennis Brown? And I was explaining to her who he was. So for me, you know, dub plates, when I was sitting with Michael, I was in the studio, we did a remix. But what was crazy about Michael is I'm a jokester and I'm always cracking jokes with my friends. Like those that know me know I'm just a funny guy. So one day my phone goes off and I pick up and it's like, hello. I'm like, hello? Hello, it's Michael Jackson. Get the fuck out of here. And I hang up the phone. And yo, 5 minutes later, the same person called back. Hello? Yeah, what up? Mike. And I start to realize it's Michael Jackson.
Really, Michael Jackson?
So I'm tripping now, and Michael is telling me he's in Asia, and he turns on the TV, and he sees this guy who puts his hands up. He's doing a song called Gone to November, and all of these women come out with violins in the middle of the airport. And he was like, I have to work with this guy. So he comes and he meets me in Sony's studio in New York. My man E's in there, my crew's in there. And I ain't gonna even lie to you. I probably never painted the story like this. So here it is. Skip, who's Michael Jackson's manager, says, yo, you gotta clear the studio. Michael's coming up. Michael is coming up from the back elevator because there's a secret elevator that's built for Michael Jackson.
He had his own elevator in there.
Yeah.
He had his own elevator.
So, his own elevator. And when it came up, it can open up in any of the studios and you literally look like Michael Jackson is walking to you from the control room. So literally now, when Skip tells me this, I get back in my room and you know what the Hit Factory is like. It's Clef. So it's like literally a Top Shotters movie. So I say, yo, boy, you know, none of y'all can't stand here because Michael Jackson will come. They say, oh, Michael Jackson will come where? No blood clot Michael Jackson will come here. I say, yo, y'all got to get out of here, man. Michael Jackson is coming. Yo, you serious, man? Yo, man, we don't care about no Michael, man. We don't care about Michael. And as I'm arguing with him, the elevator opened and Michael Jackson is walking. And Michael opens this door. You already know what the ganja and the smoke look like. A Snoop Dogg video times a trillion. So for me, Mike walks in. And so you got to understand as Caribbean people, when I tell you how shocked we were. So my boys, that was like real cool. They, yo, Mr. Michael Jackson, bless up Michael Jackson. Yo, like 1,000 bless ups and they left. And when I was in there with Michael Jackson, I was explaining to him, I need to kill some people. I need them dead, Michael. I don't need them breathing, Michael. And Michael goes, I can't hurt nobody, Clef, you know I'm loved. And I'm like, No, Michael, it's musical killing. You know, it's not like you're gonna kill them physically. I'm gonna kill them. The funk is gonna be so great. And I sold Mike on it, and he did it.
And what did he say? How did he come on? Because this was historical. You played it at a Fully Loaded.
Well,
right?
The reason why I wanted Michael, because I was about to play the biggest sound clash in the world. Me, DJ Khaled, Mighty Crown, and it's like the biggest thing. And I really wanted to.
What did he say, Clef? And which one he did over?
The refugee sound will kill a sound boy. They're gonna murder you. You better watch out. Refugees will kill a sound boy. Watch out.
Right.
They're gonna murder you, yo.
Oh my God. Yo, but Clef, did you start that with like him just talking without no music at first?
No music.
What'd he say? Hi, this is Michael Jackson. Ah!
You know Michael Jackson, I gotta get him to tag the refugee cat. You know what I'm saying?
That was it though, yo, Clef. You was waiting for that moment, huh?
Well, I was waiting for the moment, but it's like a chess game. You know what I'm saying? Because it's fully loaded. And, you know, at the time, Mataran already set me up, right? Because, you know, Mataran is ill because Mataran hype in the way he said. Mataran brought me to my first dance. My first dub I ever cut was Fujila. You know, and Mighty Mataran brought me to the dance. So I'm a student of his. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I really wanted to make that kind of an impact. And you know how dubs are? It's all about the intro. It's all about the talk. So I paced it right. Yo, I can't even tell you how many gunshots went off when a Michael, yo.
That was it, huh, Clef?
That was it.
I heard that all the way back in New York. They was hitting me so crazy. They said, yo, Wyclef is at the sound class. He played Michael Jackson. Yo, they was going crazy.
Yo, you want me to show you how I wrote Maria Maria?
Please, please. This is a Joker moment. Show me how you, I know how you wrote Maria Maria, but I won't say nothing. You gonna say, I know how you wrote it.
So here we go. So when y'all hear the part that goes.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
That's how I wrote it, man.
Shout out DJ Clark Kent. He's on the check-in. Hey, y'all, let me tell them one funny story before we leave. How the super producer, Salam Remy, he made a beat for me. And it was my beat, and I'm supposed to do it. Salam Remy has done Fugees, Amy Winehouse, whatever you could think of in the universe. And so he made me a beat. And then you guys pull up to the studio and you tell him to play you some music. He said, well, I made this beat for Fat Joe. And the Fugees said, well, play it for us. Continue the story from there, Clef.
Yo, we heard the beat. You know, he's like, he played it for Fat Joe. And then, so the beat that we ended up, you know, spitting on that Fat Joe beat, it was, we used to be down by 10, now we permanent at 1, hit the bell, I lost my finger, might become my arm, piston as I hit your nasal, blood becomes you go on, tell her, woman be easy now, ooh la la la, it's the way that we rock when we do it. So there would be no Fuji La without the beat that we borrowed from Fat Joe. This is Fat Joe.
Yo, Wyclef, I tell these people stories every night. They don't, but I know it don't sound true. It sounds like a lie. No, I'm telling you, yo, Wyclef, it always sounds like a lie. Like it ain't real.
Yeah.
But it's the truth, man.
It's truth. It's the truth.
That is a Joker moment for these guys. Yo, Wyclef, before I let you go, my brother, yes, Clark Kent, that is a true story, Clark Kent.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
Let me get your top 5 greatest artists, not just rappers, artists of all time, because you deal with too much music.
Yeah, I think, you know, for me, you know, we have to say Bob Marley. You know, we have to say Jimi Hendrix. You know, we have to say Billie Holiday. You know, that's really important. We have to say Rakim.
Woo!
And that's insanely important, you know. And for me, I have to say Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's MJ is different, you know?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is different, man. Yo, Wyclef Jean, I love you, my brother. Thank you for coming on here, spending some time with us, giving us some incredible.
And you already know I look forward to having you on my podcast. Run that back. We're going to talk that shit.